like we may have, oh, huh? Holy cow. Got to position it here. Not sure how this is going to work. Hopefully you're seeing me okay and hearing me okay. And check. Yep, looks like sound's working. So, hey, man, we're up and running. Tonight, we'll wait for a couple people to get in here, and then I'll announce what we're going to do here. So, hail to the king. Joe's in first. Yes, he is. Dixie Livin's here. Good to see them. Always awesome. Bring on the fun. Here it comes. I don't know how much fun I can be, but we'll see. I don't find myself all that amusing. Actually, I can be pretty damn funny, but usually takes a few drinks, but I don't drink much anymore. Joe, oh man, I need fun. I'm sick of crap that isn't firearms. But did you hit the button yet? Thanks, Chase. Appreciate it. Chase is here as usual. Good to have you guys. And if you read my little description, I have had the great privilege, honor, actually, to have, by pure happenstance, a gentleman come into my life, my little corner of the world, that is, I can't explain. We talk a lot, me and him, about reloading. And if I don't know, ask, I am by no means a reloading expert. Okay. I started reloading, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. And I did it mostly just for 308. I figured 308 compared to everything else I was shooting, which is mostly steel case stuff back then, was expensive. And I figured I could make it more accurate, right? For my, I guess most guys probably start out this way, my sub $1,000 1,000-yard rifle. Now, I've never shot to 1,000 yards, but it is definitely a sub MOA out of the box rifle. And most guys, including my Thunder buddy, will laugh probably when I tell them my Savage, whatever it is, Model 10. But I'll tell you what, is for a guy like me that doesn't know a lot about precision, the thing is impressive. I can line up 10 quarters and put 10 holes right through the middle of each quarter at 200 yards consistently every time with box match ammo. And a cheap Chinese scope. Not like Primary Arms cheap. I like Primary Arms. I'm talking, what the hell is this thing? A Millet. And there's a lot of people say a lot of bad things about them. Mine's done okay. They're just a pain to use. They don't use the same settings and stuff as other scopes. But that being said, I don't know a lot about reloading. And this guy, when he's talking, sometimes I'm like a deer just glazed over. But if I don't know something, I ask. Like today, he was talking about gas checks. That's a basic term you hear used quite a bit, but I didn't know what it was because I don't shoot cast bullets usually. But I was kind of on the money with how I described it. I was right. A lot of people will try to smarter people away from them. They see them as a threat. But smart, successful people seek out much smarter people than them in whatever subject they want to excel at, and they hire them and use them to make them look better. That's what it's about. You find someone that knows more than you and you learn. Don't be threatened by them. Why would you be threatened by them? I want to glean as much information as I can. Anyhow, that being said, I purely out of economy, really, and with the steel case eventually going away here, I thought I better start learning how to reload some of this and get some brass and this and that. And it started out real simple. I'll get some bullets and load some up, and as long as I can find brass or scrounge brass or whatever, it'll be cheaper, and maybe I can make some really accurate stuff too, which you don't see many people accurizing AKs, right? Or trying to squeeze everything they can out of the round with whatever rifle they have. And by most estimates, AKs are not as inaccurate as people think. Don't sell Russians or Bloc countries short. They are by no means going to short their defense systems. Uh, the guns that are built today in modern factories have excellent barrels, and everything else about them is much, much better than it ever has been. And why not try to accurize them? Get as much as you can out of them. If you're reloading, it doesn't cost you much more to make. Hell, just making a consistent round, just consistency alone will gain you droves and droves and droves of accuracy when it comes to the AK. I was talking to him, and I've watched other reports too, and you look at the differences. You fire 10 rounds of any given brand. I don't care if it's Wolf or uh, Red Army or Golden Tiger or whatever. Go check out some of Rob Ski's stuff that he did with Doppler radar and look at the extreme spreads. Some of it is crazy. And when you look at Rob's results, they're not that bad compared to most that I hear. And this gentleman in particular has done just an incredible amount of testing. And we are, as of tonight, he was nice enough to meet one of my family members and deliver some stuff personally that saved me a ton of shipping and everything. But not only that, he threw some stuff in that just because I'm doing this testing, well, it started out, I wasn't going to do any testing. That wasn't the idea here. The idea was, make some rounds that I can plink with and maybe be a little more accurate with and have some fun and save some money. And it's turned into this big project that I didn't intend on, didn't really necessarily want to do. But now that I'm in it, I'm really excited about it. We're going to be doing ladder testing and all kinds of stuff with at least 3 different types of powder. Let me think here. 1, 2, at least 3 or 4 different types of bullets. Different bullets, different powders. Name it, we're going to do it. And I'm going to have several rifles. I'm going to pick what I think will maybe not be the most accurate, because I don't know which one of mine is the most accurate. But I'm going to go with gut and history and my actual hands-on knowledge, and pick what I think is probably my most consistent rifle. And then we might even do some stuff with the RPK with longer barrels. I can tell you this, I'm going to be getting, I think, a lot higher speeds than you're normally seeing. And we're going to be pushing much heavier bullets. And size of these bullets is going to amaze some of you. A lot of people think that 312 is what an AK bullet is. It's not a 308, which is what most 30 caliber US, or not US, but most other 30 caliber barrels are. They're made for a 308 diameter bullet. Well, most people think 312s will do it in at least plated or cast bullets, and maybe 311. Well, you guys are going to be very surprised when you see what happens here. I've got my hands on some stuff that literally probably nobody else in the country has right now. I shouldn't say nobody, but there's going to be some powder that nobody has, and there's going to be some bullets that nobody has. And these are original Russian stuff. Not the stuff you get sent over here in Golden Tiger and Red Army, but the real deal, the military stuff. And it's going to be interesting, is all I can say. I'm going to use a lot of his guidance. He was nice enough to literally send me what I assume is years worth of handwritten notes and all kinds of stuff. I can't wait to get my hands on it and pour over it, because it's going to be interesting. And I know I'm going to be on the phone a lot with him, and because I want to make sure I do it justice. he he thinks, I guess he has an idea that I'm this expert and I know so much about reloading. And okay, maybe to the average guy, I know quite a bit more. But compared to a guy like him, I'm nothing. I'm a pimple on a gnat's ass. How's that sound when it comes to that? But hey, I'm always willing to learn, right? Nobody's an expert. I will never ever call myself an expert at anything. I've done my job for 30 plus years, and I am nowhere near an expert yet. Uh, um, every day is something, right? And you hear that a lot, but it's no joke. That's how I look at it. So I'm really excited to do this. I don't want to give away too much, and it's not going to be something that comes out overnight. It's going to be, I think I'll go through some of the basics of what we'll be doing. I'll put a plan together on paper, present it to you guys, tell you what you're going to be seeing over the next weeks, months, and then we're going to start the testing. And I will get through it as quickly as I can, but I'm not going to shortchange this, because at the end of the day, I think it just might be, I hope it is, one of the most comprehensive works ever done on this particular caliber for AKs. I think a lot of you will be shocked, and I think a lot of you hopefully will be able to take some basic information, and without having to go through all the headache and trouble of what I'm going to do, maybe boil it down and simplify it for you to at least get some way above average loads, and with any luck, some crazy accurate loads, and maybe something you can judge your rifles by too. Um, it's going to be fun. I got big plans. I mean, it really sparked today when he called me and told me what he had put together for me. And I just, again, I can't tell you what wonderful people I meet through this whole project. This started out to be just a fun little thing I do, and it's turned into so much more. And the people you meet, and I don't care what anybody says about the gun community, what they think of us, who gives a damn, right? But let me tell you something. The people in this community, for the most part, when I say the most part, I'm talking 99.99%, are really good, solid, salt of the earth, hardworking people that want nothing but better for their family and their children and their country. And here's a guy that I literally haven't met in person even. And just the way it went down with a family member picking it up, I'm going to PayPal her money, and it's the last minute. She's leaving school to get home for the holidays. And she, of course, poor broke college student, doesn't. I'm going to PayPal her. She doesn't have a PayPal account. He says, don't worry about it. Catch me later this week. We're not talking a little sum of money here, guys. It's a substantial amount of money. He doesn't know me from Adam. I'm sure I got a YouTube channel. I could disappear tomorrow. Although I think he'd know how to hunt me down. And whether it's or still or a tactic or whatever, we're good people. We want to share that knowledge. It's what good is knowledge without sharing it, right? And that's the fun of being able to share it and help somebody out, because that's the fun of it, is sharing it. If you have all that info stuck in your head, yeah, it's fun. You experienced it, but you get to experience it all over and relive it when you share it with other people that are truly interested. And that's what I find so neat. So anyway, that's what we got coming. And I figured what better place to do it than from my reloading bench. And I have progressive reloaders, but they're for shot shells. Every bit of reloading you see, every bullet you see me shoot other than factory ammo comes off this little single stage press. Yeah, I work hours, and every night I walk in the door into this shop here, and I set my stuff down over at my desk, and I come over here, and before I even go in the house most nights, I load, depending what it is. Last night I loaded 40 rounds or so. Night before I loaded 50 rounds. Night before I loaded 100 rounds. Or maybe I prep cartridges, or maybe I trim them, or maybe I'm loading that night. Whatever it is, I get some accomplished every night. So if I shoot once a week, I shoot one day, but I've got 6 days of reloading, catching up, or getting ahead. Right now, I'm way ahead. And I change it up. Sometimes I'll run 1,000 in one round. Other times I'll do 100 here, and then, oh, you know what? I really want to try this idea I had for 45 or whatever. Or like I loaded these 45 long Colts for hunting. Hey, let's talk about hunting, huh? So here's what else we got going on. Right after this video, I know last week I said, hang on, guys, there's going to be a premiere and all this. Well, holy Christ, something was wrong with YouTube and it wouldn't upload and it was taking forever and I just bailed on it. Then the video was done, so I put it up for monetization and it gets demonetized. I'm talking about lever action rifles here, not high capacity, this, that stuff YouTube freaks out about. Old school lever action rifles, no shooting involved, no nothing, and it gets demonetized. So I have to have them evaluate it. Boom, they evaluate it's monetized. Great, I'm going to do it. And then realize I didn't clip out a part correctly. So I redo it, pop it back in, same video, no difference, takes 4 days. And same video, no difference, takes 4 days for them to approve it this time. So I saved it for tonight and it's after the stream ends, so you get to see it. It's really an interesting video, mostly about lever actions and Winchester 94s and Henry rifles, everything from 22 to 45 Colt. So I loaded these up for hunting in boxes just to put them in. These were some Winchester cowboy rounds, plain lead bullets for target shooting, but I saved the things and put them in. And this was the brass too. So normally we load for practice Aries bullets. They are copper plated, not jacketed. There's a difference, guys. When you read copper plated, totally different than a jacket. Copper plated is simply what it states, a super thin coating of copper, just to seal the lead, basically. Keep your barrel from getting leaded up, right? Where a jacket is thicker, harder, tougher, causes you can change the expansion and all of that. This really doesn't do all that much for expansion or what the bullet's going to do. It's actually 1/100th or 1,000th bigger when you run this. Essentially, you load these plated bullets like you would a cast bullet that you cast out of plain old lead mix, right? But this is what we shoot for just plinking and having fun and pistol. Now, defensive rounds and hunting rounds is what I was loading. And these are, Hornady XTP semi-jacketed hollow points. These are 250 grain bullets with a nice big hollow point, 45 Colt, 45 long Colt with 17.5 grains of Magnum powder. What is it? Hold on, guys. Alliant 2400 with a Magnum Winchester primer behind it. And these suckers are trucking at almost 1,300 feet per second out of a 20-inch barrel. That's a whole lot of thumping when it hammers home. So this is what we decided to hunt with the 45. I'll give it up because the video is about which rifle I'm going to hunt with. And we decided to hunt with the 45 long Colt. My son was going to hunt the 30-30. I've hunted with it for 37 years. And I love these Henry rifles. So, hey, I did it. I loaded the bullets and I ran out to the range. You'll see the range footage. You'll see how they hit all. I got going to the range so late. By the time I got there, it was dusk. Sun was set. I got in. I set a target out at 50 yards because that's the furthest we're going to shoot for deer up there. And I put the headlights, high beams on the target. I threw a bag out and I shot 10 rounds. And they're grouping real nice. It was off to the right a little bit, maybe 3-4 inches, but at 50 yards, who gives a damn? It worked. So we got the video. You'll see it and it's kind of cool. It's what a cool gun. The recoil on it, even loaded super hot like this, it's just it's not like an AR or something where it's like crack that super loud. It's almost close to black powder in a way, but not. I don't know how to describe it other than it's the womb. And it's just smooth and nice, and God, they run through it like a Swiss watch. Just great stuff. So yeah, loaded a whole nice batch, and as you can see, I have a full box. So where I hunt at my house. Anytime I go outside, whether it's to take the garbage out, rake leaves, run down to the lake, run to town, whatever, throughout the day, I can see 20 to 30 deer in and around my yard, driveway, and the trails going up to the woods. 20 to 30 deer like nothing every day. In the evening, I can almost set my watch to a group of them coming down the trail from the hill down to my neighbor's feeder. He feeds them all year round corn, and you can set your watch to them. They come down 6, 8, 10 at a crack. There'll be 8 down there, 2 more come down. As I'm coming back sometimes from town, I can stop on my driveway, look over, and there's a buck bedded. I could open the car door and whack him in the head with it. They bed in the grass right off the driveway because it's heavy woods right off the driveway. But they'll bed right there in the grass with the sun coming down on them nice, you know. I look, I'm like eye to eye with the thing, like, and he doesn't move. He doesn't care that the car's there. So of all the deer I see, 30 deer a day, right? Everything from fawns to big does, little does, big does, medium-sized does, forkhorn, a 4-point, 6 or 8 point, and there was one big boy in there. I counted 10, and another time I counted 12. He's in there somewhere. At least 3 nice bucks running the property there. We have 7 acres to hunt, and the neighbors adjoining 5, and another neighbors adjoining 5, who he's friends of mine. He owns a bait and guide service in town, and never built on the property. When he wants to fish, he comes by me because he lives on the lake, but he's got nowhere to even put a pier in because he hasn't put a house in yet or nothing. So anyhow, I can hunt that property, the swamp behind, and kind of the edge of the whole thing all the way around. Most neighbors don't care, but I don't intrude on them. Anyhow, my deer stand, my tree stand had been up for 30 years. I had rebuilt it once, and it was getting rickety. The trees were growing, obviously, and thank God I bought a ground blind, because when I got there this year, a tree had fallen right between. I had it built between 3 birch trees, and a tree came down right in the middle of it and smashed it to pieces. So I had a little ground blind. I got there late Friday night because I was working. Saturday morning, I got up, and I ran out early, like, I don't know, 4 a.m., 4:30. And that blind goes up in about 30 seconds. I set it kind of where I thought I wanted it. I know every inch of it pretty much out there. I've been there 30 years. And went back to the house, had some coffee, whatever, got dressed, went out hunting, got in the blind, sat from about 6:30 to about 10:30. Didn't see nothing, didn't hear anything, squirrels. And the funny thing was, opening day, Wisconsin gun season, I've read articles that certain years, opening day in the state of Wisconsin, there are more firearms and more rounds of ammunition in the state of Wisconsin on opening morning of deer season than there ever were at one single time in Vietnam. Think about that. More rounds of ammunition and more rifles in the state of Wisconsin on opening day than any single day at any point in the war in Vietnam. That's a lot of guns and a lot of ammo, right? Wisconsin is a lot like, if we got a lot of Michigan people here. People are just like Wisconsin people. In my eyes, there's no difference. I mean, we're connected at the top. We talk the same for the most part. Wisconsin's got a little more of the but you get that up north in the UP for sure. But we're the same thought processes, same heritage, a lot of same backgrounds, everything. I consider them one and the same almost, because my family is all from UP of Michigan and northern Wisconsin. It's where my family was settled. That's where my family's from, both states. In one case, you cross the street, you're in Wisconsin from Michigan. Just literally across the street. Hurley, Silver City. Anyhow, that being said, a lot of heritage, a lot of that. All morning, I heard 4 shots. Now, any of you that have hunted Michigan or Wisconsin know how rare that is. Usually it sounds like a small firefight going off. There's shots from every direction. Before you can see your sights, you'll hear boom, 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 boom. Especially if you're on public land. It's crazy, right? Now, being on the lake and the hills and the valleys, you can hear a shot for miles and miles and miles and miles. I heard 4 shots all morning. Weather was clear, sunny, not too cold, nip in the air. It had snowed some days before. There were just a little bit of the snow left, though, nothing much. Lake wasn't frozen. That being said, Sunday morning, it was the same thing, a little colder. And before noon, I heard what sounded like a freight train outside. I thought the garbage truck must be here. And then I'm like, wait, it's Sunday. I look, the wind outside sounded like a freight train, like you hear people say about tornadoes. I look and the snow is blowing sideways. Within 5 minutes, everything's covered. I go down to the lake. It's unfrozen, but the center is froze and it's coming my way. It hit the shore and started piling up ice to the point where I couldn't get in or out of my boathouse. Crazy weather turn. So maybe that had something to do with the deer not moving. I don't know, but I've never seen it like this. One other year I saw it like this, where you just didn't see a deer. You're like, where did they go? Where did they go? They're not. I hunted morning. I hunted evening. I went out during the middle of the day, later trying to catch them back, going between bedding. Maybe thought they got a late start. There were no deer to be found. And then once we got the snow, no tracks, no droppings. I found one buck scrape, a big buck scrape. That was it. It was that big boy. He reached you know how they bite a branch? He reached so high up on this tree. This thing is a monster, but I have no idea where he went. Well, maybe I do. So when you're bored and you're not seeing nothing, you start exploring a bit, right? So I start walking around the property. And I walk a few feet and I'd stop and you start exploring 15 minutes. Just stop, sit. I kind of stalk hunt. I'll take 4, 5, 10 steps and then sit 5 minutes, 8 minutes, 10 minutes, scan everywhere with my eyes, really without moving my head, and really look at things, because you can have, guys, if you got a deer sitting that's intent on staying bedded up or just knows you're there, that deer will stand there. The old ones, the smart ones, and not move. They can be 5 feet from you and you don't know they're standing there. You didn't even hear them come up. Anyhow, that's how I still hunt. But I'm looking, and I must have stared at it for half an hour and didn't even realize it. I go, oh, look at that, a deer stand on my property. Years ago, I had given a neighbor permission. I found his stand out on our property and didn't know whose it was. Took it down, cut the chain, took it down, put it in my shed. One of the neighbors, who's Chatty Cathy on the lake, knows everybody. I told him about it, full well knowing it would finally get around to whoever owned it. And sure enough, he came to me. Hey, I hear you got my deer stand. I said, no, I've got the deer stand of a trespasser. You know, and long story short, he does me favors. I put my boat landing, but I ask. All you had to do was ask. I wasn't a dick about it. And I said, no problem. Just do me a favor. If I tell you I'm hunting that year, I don't want any hunting going on. And that's rare. I haven't hunted much the last few years. So, but he hadn't come back and asked me the next year, the year after, the year after. I don't know how long it's been out there. Haven't been out in the woods there that much lately. I haven't had the time up there like I have. So the one stand, okay, I figured that's his. I'm walking around some more, another stand. The next day I'm walking around, another stand. 3 elevated, not portable, welded ladder stands with a nice foot base and a seat and strapped to the trees and everything. Looked like they've been there for some time, not taken down. 3 stands on 5 acres, maybe a 5-acre area, 3 stands. And I know they bow hunt, they don't rifle hunt. So did all those bucks I see get nailed by bow hunters hunting my land? I don't know, but I'm going to find out with trail cams because season will still be going. I don't know if I'll get them because maybe they filled their tags, but I'm going to talk to the neighbor first, see if it's him. He'll tell me, no big deal, but I'm going to be like, dude, we talked about 1 stand, not 3. And you knew I was coming hunting this year. So maybe it was a big waste of time. I don't know. It just sucked. Didn't see a thing. But as far as the hunting being bad, the rest of it gave me some time there's something relaxing about sitting in the woods. I got to kind of survey my property that I hadn't been out back there in years, literally. You'd be amazed at how much changes. I got to enjoy some peace and quiet and solitude and think a little bit, cry a little bit about my son, more than you would think. But it was good. It was good. And came home Sunday night because my wife needed me and I had to be to work. So drove back down to Milwaukee and that was that for deer hunting. So anyhow, got to load it up, developed a nice load that seems to shoot well. Going to use it for a defensive round too. I did load them down a little bit for my pistol, so that's kind of cool. Did those. I told you guys we're shooting different stuff and loading different stuff every night here. Last night, I decided to do some 30-06 for the Grand. Look at those Grand rounds. That's not your grandpa's Grand load, right? These are going to be interesting. Very interesting. Can't wait. So, I figured with all the reloading, why not show you? I've got everything filmed for a basics of reloading video, and I'm going to have a smoke. Don't worry, there's no powder. Powder's way up there, all sealed up. Don't worry about it. Anyhow, I told you I do everything on this single press. And we're not going to do any reloading here. We don't want YouTube to freak out. We're just going to show you the tools, okay? So this is a press, guys, and this is a RCBS Rock Chucker. Probably their most famous press. And I found out how it got the name Rock Chucker the other day. So the gentleman that developed it used to hunt varmints, and they called them woodchucks or whatever, rock chuckers, rock chucks. And he named the press a rock chucker. They make this in a kit that comes with all the basics that you need really to get going, other than a set of dies and maybe a couple accessories. But the main part is the press. So big thing with the press is to mount it somewhere sturdy where it's not going to move, because in some cases you're putting some pretty good pressure on it. And everything is done in stages here by moving this. As simple as that. I'll tell you right now, the hardest part of reloading, or the biggest pain of reloading, is prepping your brass. By prepping your brass, I mean, let me see. I've got everything clean for once. I mean, I've cleaned every damn piece of brass I got, other than maybe, here, I got some random stuff that's bagged up. I don't even know what it is. That's bagged up. I don't even know what it is. Random stuff I picked up. Looks like 300 blackout maybe. But you get used brass like this, right? Just dull. The insides of the cases are black. You got the primers in them, all of that. So you start by cleaning it. Several ways to clean it. We've tried 2 of the 3 main ways. Once you clean it, you're going to size and deprime it. So by size, that means once a bullet's fired, the case mouth is stretched. And if you were to take a new bullet and put it in, it would just drop in, right? You need tension on the neck. So it squeezes it back down to factory specs and it pops the primer out ready for a new one. Once you have that, now you've got to measure that case. There's a list of trim lengths, what a new piece of brass has to be trimmed to. So you want to make sure they're trimmed to that, or at a minimum that they're in specs, but they're all the same. The biggest problem you'll have with not trimming cases is not that they're long, but that they're inconsistent. You'll have a longer one, a shorter one, and that affects your die setting. So each round is going to be a little different. So, pistols, I find it doesn't matter all that much, but rifle rounds and for accuracy, you definitely want to have them all the same size. So you trim it, and then after trimming, you have to get the burrs off of it, and there's tools made for that. And you want to clean the primer pocket out. It doesn't sound like a lot, right? Cleaning, trimming, and finish work, deburring. That's the biggest pain in the rear that there is. If you could reload brand new brass all the time, reloading simple and quick. It's the prepping the brass. So I would suggest doing it in loads and getting a whole bunch on hand so it's all done and ready to go, because then reloading is fun and easy. And that's what I've done for years. I assembled boxes and bags of once fired brass. And it sat dirty, and anytime I'd want to load a bunch, I'd have to clean it all and go through the whole process. I finally went through and I purchased a couple things that allow me to do it quicker, faster, easier. And literally right now, every piece of brass I own, and that's thousands and thousands and thousands of rounds, are clean, trimmed, and prepped, ready to go. And at least half of them are primed already. So I can literally put them in the case holder and drop a powder charge and put a bullet in, and I'm good to go. I can load 100 rounds even on this single press in an hour, not even. So how do you clean it? Well, tried and true method is with this orange jobber here, and it's a tumbler. And I'm going to turn a light on. I hope it doesn't affect the camera. You want a lot of light when you're reloading, and these fluorescents are a pain. Anyhow, it just tumbles like a rock tumbler. Vibrates, and inside you put whatever type of media you're using. In this case, we've got crushed corn cob, and it's treated corn cob. It's real dark because it's dirty now, but it's also green. There's a polishing agent on it. I use, if you can see this up here, it's empty, but Lyman's Turbo Tumbler Media Corn Cob Plus. When it's new, you can take the crustiest ammo or cases and gleaming new. I mean, gleaming. 45 Colt we just ran. There you go. Now I'm going to show you something. When you do them in the tumbler, sure, it gets everything clean for the most part, but it sticks in the primer pockets a lot of times, especially 223. So you've got to use a different method to get it out of the primer pocket. You can use a pick. I've got a big compressor right here with a blowgun, and I just shoots all over the shop and whatever. But the inside of the cases, especially on 223 small bottleneck cartridges and stuff, doesn't necessarily get clean. Now, this isn't just because this is a pistol round, but look at how clean that is inside. You see that? It's brand new, right? Look at the shine. That's inside, guys. You don't find that out of a tumbler, okay? And as that media ages, I can sometimes tumble stuff. I can start tumbling at 7 at night, let it run all night. In the morning, I come out. It's amazing, way beyond what most people do. But I like my brass looking better than new. Anyhow, it takes forever, right? And then just picking it out of there was a pain. So you end up, you buy a basic kit like I did here, but you end up adding little pieces like this. This is just a big bin, and inside the bin is this basket, and this opens up, and I take the tumbler here and the media and the shells in it, pour it all in there, close it up, close the top, and you crank it, and it spins it all and gets rid of the media and leaves your finished shells in the basket. Now, doesn't sound like that big a deal. Huge time saver for $18 or whatever the hell it was, because it's just a plastic bucket essentially. Huge time saver, right? Still, tumbling takes forever. So I then went to an ultrasonic cleaner. You've seen them for jewelry, this and that. Harbor Freight sells them. You don't have to get the brands I show you here, but RCBS makes a nice one. And I don't know if I can show you. Hold on. And you'll see it in the video. But there's water in it, so I don't want to. But it's got controls, a drain hose, which is huge when you want to switch, because the cool thing with that is you don't just use it on brass. I can toss an entire handgun in there essentially. Field strip it, put it in there, click, and it comes out mint perfect. No scrubbing, no buffing, no nothing. Done. I clean my wife's rings in there. Just don't use the same stuff used for brass, or she might be a little upset when you hand it back to her and the diamond's smoking and half gone. I'm kidding. But I use Turbosonic Lyman's cap full or two in there. You can make your own stuff, Lemmy Shine and some other stuff. There's all kinds of concoctions. Look online. But that thing, in super dirty cases, 10 to 13 minutes, normal cases, 5 minutes. And they are that clean, where the inside is like brand new. The primer pockets, incredible, perfect. You can then let them dry on a towel overnight, throw them in the oven for a little while. I always freaked out about the moisture. That's why I never went to that. But the water, there's also a heating element. It heats to 140 degrees. When you pull them out in the basket, shake them off. They're so hot, it just evaporates dry for the most part. I then throw them in the tumbler for a final polish, because they come out kind of satiny out of there, depending how much you polished them the time before, maybe. But I throw them in the tumbler. It not only dries it, but gives it that final polish, and then I'm done. From there, and this comes, I'll tell you everything that comes in a kit. So one of the things that comes in a kit is a deburring tool. This is for hand deburring. And really how it's used is, once you trim it, you'll have burrs around here and you want it smooth. So the cone end, the pointed end, goes in, and you simply twist it a few times. Like that would be enough. And it gives a little chamfer to the inside, so the bullet slides in nice, and it takes any burrs off. The outside of it is 3 prongs. Let's see, 3 prongs, and that center thing just kind of centers it for whatever reason. Some don't have that, doesn't really matter. And this one's a small one, but it still fits 45, and you just put it on, and same thing. Couple twists like that is done. But that gets tedious after a while, and then they make a screwdriver attachment with brushes and stuff. There's a little primer pocket brush. You can clean your primer pocket out. Well, you get sick of that, right? And you buy one of these jobbers here. I hope you guys can see it's bolted down, but it's essentially motorized. I turned the light off, but it's motorized. They all spin, and it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 motorized stations, 2 manual stations. And this comes in real handy when you're doing military cartridges that have the primers crimped in. You won't have so much of a problem. Well, you can have a problem getting them out. You end up breaking your pins trying to get them out, but you'll never get a new one in. Rarely. You'll destroy it because they crimp. They essentially put 2 little punches in, and it spreads the brass over and holds the primer in. So to get rid of that, you've got this one. You put it on, that trims it off. This is a primer pocket uniformer. It makes them all the same size and the same depth. I like using that to not only uniform them, but clean them. And if you've got loose primer pockets, it can actually make them a little tighter without having to swage it. That's another story. Then here's your cone part for deburring, and here's your inside part for deburring the outside. And then a brush, case neck brush, whatever. This is your trimmer. It's got pilots for every size. This adjusts automatically. You put a shell in like that. You run this in, and it's a lathe. It comes with a handle. You spin it, but I have it set up to put a drill on, so it's even faster. So I can go to town pretty well here. Once that's done, they're ready to load. So what comes in the package when you buy a package? Well, your press comes in it. Your hand tools for deburring and case prep. You will get a loading block like this. And all that is, this is set up for all different sizes. And essentially, let's see, this side will hold 45. So it just holds them all here. So if I'm, going to drop powder, this will hold 50 rounds. I have some that hold 40, but I can go on the powder dump here and just boom, 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 boom. Keeps everything in order. You know what steps you've done. Like, okay, these are all primed. Okay, these are all have powder. Okay, now I'm going to put the bullets in. And it just keeps it organized for you. Comes with one of those. Comes with something very important, a scale. You see this little beam scale back here? You'll notice I have a couple. I have 2 RCBS. I just inherited some. And I have this O-House a friend gave me back there. There you go. This, sorry, I got too much crap on my hands. This is a O-House scale. I think they actually made them for RCBS at one point. But I have 2 out here just I can check them back and forth. And they make check weights. Standardized weights you can put in, make sure your thing is weighing right. Always make sure it's zeroed. And what you're doing is weighing the powder charge. This is your powder dump. So when you want to load a bullet, you put it up here. You have it set here. This sets how much to dump, and that dumps the powder charge. And this was set for 30-06, and it filled that case over the top. Look at the gunpowder. So filled it over the top. I just did it for demonstration. But how do you know what's dumping out of there is the right load? Because you weighed it there. And you weigh several. And if it's plinking ammo and it's close and you're running a powder like this, it measures the same all the time. You can run a whole load. If you're running precision stuff, you'll load it like half a grain light. And then use something called a powder trickler to trickle those last few grains into the pan of the scale till it's exactly perfect for every round. This is an accessory. Doesn't come with the kit. What else comes with the kit? The scale, the powder dump, but it doesn't come with this arm. This arm just allows it to be up a little and easy to use. I've got another rock chucker press mounted here that I can set up for like 223 that I load all the time and not have to change it. But I'm so tight here that I put the arm down and I'm loading. But I got lots of room to expand, but I like everything in arm's reach here. I've got everything from my press to a huge selection of bullets. Up here you see all my dyes. You see primers. You see powders. And then cases to put loaded bullets in. Little screwdrivers, brushes, pens. I do some gunsmithing over here. Here's a bunch of ghost triggers for Glocks. I don't know, 6, 7 of them. I get a lot of people asking for ghost triggers. Funnels, all my little tools and accessories we change up. Bullet puller. If you make a mistake, you have one of these. And a lot of kits will come with these. If not, they're cheap. And essentially, you unscrew the end. Hopefully, I'm not boring all of you. And there's a set of collets in there, different sizes. This one, like it's about a 223 or so. I don't want to stretch it out. Let's see if I got something here. Just show you how one works real quick. Yeah. So pretend this had a bullet in it. It was a fully loaded cartridge. What you do is you push it through. It catches on the rim of the cartridge, like so. I put it in backwards. Hold on. These are a pain if they come apart. Okay, there we go. So it catches on the rim of the cartridge. You set it in there like that, bullet down. You screw the cap back on. And I use the anvil on my vise or the ground or whatever. And you boom, boom, boom. And the kinetic force, the bullet pops out, the powder drops in here, and you essentially took your bullet apart. Usually because you made a mistake or something, but you can save the components and whatnot. I find it handy for tearing down factory ammo to weigh bullets and see what charges are if I'm trying to duplicate something. So these come in handy. Some kits come with them, some don't, but they're cheap. When it comes to loading bottleneck cartridges, before you size them in the press, they need to be lubed. So you will get in your set a lubricating pad. And all it is a foam rubber pad. And it comes with case lube. You put a few drops on it, spread it around. You set your cases on there, roll them to lube, put a little lube on them. Otherwise, they'll stick in these dies. And yeah, that's a whole nother story. One day I'll show you how to get stuck cases out of there. Pain in the rear. It'll also come with a primer tray. Primers come in little cardboard things. How do you get them out of there without getting them all over? You take the base of this, you flip it over on top of the primer tray, flip it over, and you got your primers in a tray here. I always keep an end of the box to put in there so I remember what they are. These happen to be large rifle primers, CCIs, probably 30 years old, and they're still good. So it comes with one of these, the lube case, the lube, loading block, the ammo or the powder drop, and the press. And that's basically all you need. The only other thing you need is a set of dies for whatever type of round you're going to be reloading. RCBS dies, this is a bad representation. These are old dies, probably 73 or so. And they look very rough, but they work just fine. These are an early representation of RCBS, and I'll show you a new set because it's interesting to see the development. It's just really super rough knurling. The lock rings in this isn't done all that nicely compared to what they do today, but the die itself you can see is nice. So rifle dies will come in a set, like that 6. Most will be 2 die sets. The first, this is the sizing and depriming die. And like I said, it resizes the mouth of the case and the overall cartridge back to SAMI specs, original specs. This pin in the middle right here knocks the primer out as the shell goes up in there. This is what the shell can stick in if you don't lube it. I also, once I trim a case to the size needed, I keep one of them that's perfectly sized. I write the size on it and I keep it in here. Why? So when I'm trimming at 6 next time, and this was set to 223, my trimmer, I can pop this in and adjust my trim size right to this without trial and error and guessing. The other thing that should come with die sets but doesn't, it's always extra, is a shell holder. So you need the ability to hold the shell upright on your ram here. And these snap into the ram, the top of the ram, and they're a case holder. It's slotted and your case slides in, like it goes in the top of the ram, and then you slide your case in. That's not the one for this. This is. You slide, this isn't either. What was I reloading? 30-06. Anyhow, you slide your case in and it holds it there. It won't allow it to pull up and it holds it. So your operation is going on, and then when it's done, you pull it out. Good to go. There's a hole in it for like the depriming pin and all. You have to set the height and depth of these. I'm not going to go into all that right now, but you buy a set of dies for whatever cartridge you want to start off loading, and hit the ground running. Get yourself some primers, some bullets, so pick up some brass at the range or get some new stuff, powder, bullets, primers, you're good to go. So most rifle sets are 2 dies, the decapping and sizing one that we showed you here, and then this is the bullet seater and crimping die all in one. So it seats the bullet. You put your shell in the shell holder and put the bullet on top after it's loaded with powder. Pull it down. It seats the bullet in and crimps the brass around the edge. Some bullets you don't crimp. Real precision stuff, bolt action stuff, you won't crimp. You want to leave it alone. Semi-automatic stuff or tubular magazine like this, these are in a tubular magazine, and through recoil or whatever, they're hitting each other. That bullet could get pushed in. If it gets pushed in too deep, you raise the pressure in here when it goes off, and you could possibly hurt the rifle or yourself. So we put a crimp on it that keeps that bullet from moving. And a lot of bullets have what's called a cantilever. Let's see if I got one here to show you. Give me a momento. So here's a plain 223 bullet without a cantilever, just smooth here. Cantilever would be this knurled ring around it. See if I got one here to show you. Yeah, I do. So many bullets, guys, once you get going. Oh my God. So there's a bullet with a cantilever around it. And that's where the neck of the brass goes into, and you crimp it in. And there's a bullet with a cantilever around it. And that's where the neck of the brass goes into, and you crimp it in. And that helps the bullet not move, like for an AR or an AK in a magazine with recoil. But different bullets. I mean, there's a Spitzer soft tip. There's a cantilever with a boat tail. Boat tail means it thins out, better for accuracy. Here's some powder coated. I don't know, these are 9 or these might be 38 supers. Powder coated bullets, just cast lead with powder coating. Keeps your barrel from getting leaded up. The gentleman we're talking to is cast me some special bullets for the AK that are powder coated, and according to him, it will not wear through that coating. It's a polymer coating. 2,300 feet per second, and it'll stay intact without letting your barrel, which is, either a bullet going so fast or getting so hot that a plain cast bullet without a without a smear of lead down your barrel grooves up real quick, and the rifle becomes inaccurate until you remove the lead from the grooves. So that's what a jacket does, or plating, or powder coating. But in most cases, everyone you talk to, or most of the people out there doing it right now, like these are Acme bullets. They say, well, it's not good. It's only good up until about 12 or 1,300 feet per second, and that's pushing it. Well, now we've got this gentleman with a process that says we can go to 2,300 feet per second. That'll world of casting bullets for high-powered rifles. So it's going to be interesting on this testing. Anyhow, so as far as press operation, we talk about sizing and depriming. That's with the one in there, and you just run it through. It does that. Your second operation would be seating a primer. You can put, the kits will come with a priming tool as well. This is a hand priming tool. You put your primers in here, shell holder in here, slide the case in, and boom, you're priming. You just squeeze it, and you can see a primer come up. Primer comes up and seats it into the case. So you can do it like this. That comes with the kit. What also comes with it is this little arm right here, if you can see it. See that little arm? So we flip it down, it goes into a groove in the ram. And when you put the case in there, you can put a primer in the top cup of it. And you pull up a little, you slide the case in, then you push down, and that seats the primer in there. You can do them one at a time like that. You can do them quicker the other way. A lot of times I like doing it on here because I like the feel. You develop a feel of things, how hard things should be, how easy they should go, or how tough they should go. A lot of feel when it comes to reloading. So set your primer. You've already decapped and sized, and then seating your bullets. With pistol bullets, they'll usually be, or pistol dies, there'll usually be one extra die in there, and that is for belling the case mouth. So you can set it to bell it out a little bit here, so your bullet slides in there easier. Has a way to stay in there and get a good start. So that's it. Jumped around a little bit there at the end, so I hope I didn't confuse you too much. But essentially, it's a pretty easy process. And once you do it once yourself, you'll be like, wow, this is pretty easy. What it takes is pay attention, no distractions. I can't say I don't listen to a ball game or something, or have the computer on with YouTube playing in the background. But the ability to concentrate, not be interrupted, and develop habits where if you are interrupted, you can either put a signal down or a note or something of where you left off, because it sounds like it wouldn't be a big deal, but you might not get back to it for a week or two, and you go, shit, where was I with these? And you don't recall, and now you could run into issues. So you don't want to run into issues. You want to keep things safe, and if ever in doubt, pull them apart. Don't guess. Don't think, well, I think it was this. It's like powder. When I'm using a certain powder, I leave the powder out. That way I know what powder is in here. You can't guess. You can't. 14.7 grains of this is not 14.7 grains of that. You just might blow your gun up. So be careful is all I'm going to say. The biggest thing that comes with a kit, and the most important thing, if you are not ready to buy a kit yet, or don't have the money, or not sure you want to do it yet, what I'm going to show you here comes with every kit. But if you're not sure yet, buy this one piece and use it and study it like crazy, and it'll teach you everything you need to know. So when I bought the RCBS kit, it came with a Nosler manual. And being new, you think, well, okay, I got the reloading manual. It lists every round ever made and 82 different loads for every powder and bullet and weight and this and that. But Nosler tends to give you information for their bullets, and their 168 grain full metal jacket boat tail 30 caliber round may not be exactly the same as Hornady's. May be different, and Hornady may have rounds and bullets that Nosler doesn't have, and vice versa. So you really need, at the end of the day, to have a couple of them. One that's kind of good all around manual, not just for the recipes, as I call them, but for reloading info in general, because the first third of this book is just how to reload and equipment and what to do and how to do it and all that good stuff. Really good manual. Lyman also tends to give a lot of information on cast bullets. Why? They make bullet casts. They give it on others too, generally more popular ones. For instance, here's a Barnes 270 grain X bullet. Here's a generic jacketed A-frame, jacketed round nose, jacketed soft point. Doesn't tell you what brand. And each one, while they're close, may be a little different. And Hornady is probably the most available bullet around anywhere. When you go in your local stores, you'll see a lot of red and silver everywhere, right? And Hornady makes a kit. They make a nice press. They have a lock and load system, which is kind of nice. Once you get your dies set, you can lock them in, and there's no adjusting. You just put them in and turn. Which I can lock these rings in essentially the same thing, but a little different. All the presses are good. These are overbuilt. These will last 2 generations or 3 or 4. Like this was my father's press here. Same one, little different. The newer ones are even stronger than the older ones. I'm looking at them. That's a much stronger press. More room to work in here too. Anyhow, Hornady, you see a ton of that. So it's probably, I'd probably start out with a Hornady manual just because their bullets and all are probably the most commonplace. And really good info. And again, same thing. The whole front of it is, about basic reloading. For instance, here's one of their kits. So you want to see what comes in a kit? Well, a press. Let's see. Case lube, the book, a scale, a case holder. That one comes with a powder trickler, a hand primer, a powder dump, hand primer, press, and a caliper. The other thing you need, and some kits come with them, some don't, but a caliper. This is a cheap Harbor Freight. Sometimes it's cheaper to buy a new one than it is to buy the batteries for them. But I've had the same one forever. It works just fine, and it's good enough for reloading. You can do electronic or manual. For beginners, the electronic's probably easier if you don't know how to read a manual. But good stuff. You have to have one of these. Have to. Anyways, if you don't want to start out, you don't know what you want to do, buy a book. And buy the Lyman book first because it gives a better detail of basic reloading. And Lyman makes all these products too. You've got Hornady makes them all, RCBS, Lyman, Lee, on and on and on. It's just what you want to buy. I liked RCBS because that's what my father used. So I ended up doing that. Most Tumblr, I've got other stuff. It just depends. That's it in a nutshell, guys. And once you get going, I'd probably try a pistol caliber first. It's easier, more forgiving, I think. But it really doesn't matter. And then some guys say, well, should I start out with this or a progressive? I'd start out with this. For the little bit, full retail on a full RCBS kit is $4.99. When they have a deal going on where you buy it and they'll send you free bullets, all kinds of stuff, I think I paid, and you can still find them for this if you look, $3.50 for a whole set for everything, and a set of dies for anywhere from $30 to $65. And you're off to the races. And will you save money doing it? Probably, yeah. But you're not going to save the money. You're just going to shoot more. And will you save money doing it? Probably, yeah. But you're not going to save the money. You're just going to shoot more. And who doesn't want to shoot more? So try it out. Any questions? I'm more than happy to handle any questions you may have on it. I'm sorry I babbled so long there. Let's check the comments. I hate to look because they're probably a mile long. We know Joe's here. We know Chase Evans here. I love having them here. I say it such nice people. Comments. Just good people. True American Loretta's here. Awesome. MZ's here. Alan Bishop's here. Texas Bullet. What's going on, dude? Good to have you here. He says, what up? Let's see. Good to see you as always. Consistent and reliable are only things I look for. That's the great thing about reloading. You can make it consistent and reliable always. You know what? I might be one of the few that can say this, but in the thousands and thousands and thousands of rounds that I've reloaded, I'm sorry this camera's shaking because I've got it on a desk and every time I hit it, see that? Is it annoying you guys? Let me know if it's annoying you guys. But in all the thousands and thousands and thousands of rounds I've reloaded and shot, I can honestly say I haven't had not one single failure to fire out of one of my rounds. Not one. I'm very careful, but the more you get into it, here's what happens, guys. When you get comfortable with something, you can get lackadaisical, and you can't afford to do that with this. So I have certain things in place, and I can't say I haven't screwed up. I have, but I've been lucky enough to catch myself every time. And it's always when I walked away and came back to something. And all of a sudden I realized, oh my God, why am I doing that? Or what? Oh my God, I didn't put powder in those, or whatever the case may be. I've caught myself at whatever it was. I've caught myself usually only a couple rounds in, not an entire 50 rounds in or something. But I can't tell you I haven't had to take apart 10 or 15 rounds and do them over. But I have fail safes in where I catch it. It's always going to be caught somewhere. So make sure whatever that process is, and the books will give them to you, make sure you follow it. If a book says something, there's a reason they took the time to tell you. It's because it's important. Follow it. Don't blow it off. You may not even realize yet why they're telling you to do that. You may never realize it if you don't have a lot of common sense. But if with just the tiniest bit of mechanical knowledge and want to do it, you can. And forget about saving money. Forget about shooting more. There's a certain satisfaction in firing that round, having it work well and accurately, or take game, or whatever the case may be, knowing that you did it yourself. You added that entire end to your hobby, and it's another hobby unto itself. But the cool thing is it can save you some money. I saw something about Big Rapids here, so I know what that's going to be, and I'm going to get to you here in a second. I get that Rock Island M206. It's like a cheaper version of a Colt. If you want a revolver. Rock Island M206. What is it? It's a revolver? R is in here. How do you get a name like R? I'm amazed that was available. Awesome, Joe. Appreciate feedback. I love revolvers, but carry a modern striker fired 9 for reasons of ease and carry. I love revolvers too. I've been messing with an ankle holster lately for my little snub. Very comfortable way to wear it with a good ankle holster. I like it. Hattori Hanzo, the man is a fan of Big Rapids. Lots of Fair State clothing. This is the only Fair State clothing I have. I haven't changed in over a week, man. I was deer hunting. Give me a break. So yeah, I smell a little. Does it matter? You can't smell me until we got scratch and sniff. Don't worry about it. Okay. Call me out on that. Just messing with you, man. I just had, as I was putting this on, I was in work clothes. I didn't want to come on here in my dress clothes, Mr. Hoity Toity, right? No, I'm just another hillbilly like you guys. I'm kidding. But as I was putting this on tonight, I realized I wore this in the last stream. And yes, I am an alumni of Ferris State University, the Bulldogs. Hey, this year their football team was in the coaches poll voted #1 in the country. Woohoo! Division II. Got a hell of a hockey team too. Division I, several championships. I know there was one championship. Time flies, but I'm thinking it was in the last 5 years. And we play teams like Notre Dame, University of Chicago. I think Western Michigan or Michigan State. I know. I had some friends on the hockey team when I went there, and they recruit big out of Canada. And great team. And I was at Ferris recently because I went to visit my daughter at Central. I hadn't been back in 37 years, and I was shocked. I was absolutely floored by how big that town is. We had a Domino's, a Little Caesars, and a Mark's Big Boy restaurant. And then Casey McNabb's, a ripoff of Bennigan's. I was a bartender there for years and during college. And now there's everything from Menards, Home Depot, Tractor Supply, 82 hotels. It was all woods on the main drag coming from Highway 131 to school. Now it's lined with every big box store. It's shocking. Absolutely shocking. Coming from Chicago, when I went there, I was like, oh my God, how am I going to live here? There's no hot dogs, no beef sandwiches, and shit pizza. Get me out of here, Ma. I got to get out of here. Now I miss it. I wish it was like it was. But it was cool to see, cool to go to my fraternity house, all of that. Had a good time. My daughter went with me and we reminisced. I took her to some of my old places I lived. It was cool. So yeah, I like Big Rapids. Next week, I'll wear my white sweatshirt. I'll wear that one. Sorry. And yeah, I did shower. I'm only kidding. Did you guys hear about Kyle Rittenhouse? So when he was in jail, and he was in jail much longer than people think, he had, while his cell, he said he would rate as like a 1-star hotel. He said, let's say Super 8 is what he said, or Motel 6, one of the two. He said, everything he needed: a comfortable bed, private toilet, sink, desk, whatever else. Oh, a tablet, for computer, TV, all the modern conveniences, except no running water. He went without running water from, I want to say it was like late October to November 20. I forget what he said. It was like over 30 days. No running water, and he didn't shower for that time. He said had it went another 30 days, he would have ended up sick and possibly hospitalized. He didn't even complain about it. And he said he just didn't want to make any deal out of anything. He didn't want to piss off guards, nothing. So he went without it. His friend that drove him when he was either going to court or something, I don't know what he was doing. He said his first shower was like a 3-hour shower. And he said not showering for 30 days or whatever affected his skin so much that it was off like in sheets. He said it was unbelievable gross, and the smell. And he owes his friend a big favor to put up with the smell. That was in the Tucker Carlson interview. Kind of interesting. Thank God that case went our way. And I hadn't thought about it till right before the trial. I had something happen at work where a couple of us were talking about it as the case was coming up. And a gentleman that works for me, he's an African-American. We were talking, and I said, yeah, man, because we're Wisconsin. We're 25 miles maybe from Kenosha, maybe. And I thought, man, I hope everything stays okay in the town there tonight, And he walked up and half jokingly said, oh man, you crackers talking about that again. It's okay for a white guy to kill a bunch of black guys. This is an intelligent man, a friend of mine. I talk to him every day. Love him. He's hilarious. Educated. And at first I thought, wait a second, he knows, right? And I said, what are you talking about? And he was kind of joking. Oh yeah, it's okay for the black man to get put down or whatever. And I said, you do realize that those were all white guys that ended up getting shot. The defendant was white. The people that got shot and or killed were white. Had nothing to do with that. And he said, shut up, get out of here. I said, no, man. I said, he's like, are you serious? I'm like, are you serious? We're like back and forth laughing at each other. Like, don't get me wrong. This wasn't like, there was no friction to the whole thing. It was just, are you serious? Yeah. Are you serious? Yeah. It's like, you're kidding me. I'm like, no, go look. He Googles it and he comes, son of a bitch. He goes, and he is a conservative. He's a gun lover. We talk about guns all the time. He's a good dude. Got to go shooting with him soon. He hunts. He's got a lot of cool guns. He's mechanically inclined, builds cool motorcycles. Just a good guy. And he didn't know, either through whatever, I doubt it was the news sources, because he's, like I said, a conservative. But maybe, people in his family, his crowd of friends, whatever, he was fully convinced that the victims were black, and that just wasn't the case. He was shocked. And he thought, he even said something. He goes, I can't believe, what we hear and how things can be switched around. He was really shocked by it. So I didn't realize that was a thing either. I thought everybody knew. And then to see the misinformation out there is just shocking. But thank God it went our way, or Kyle's way, everybody's way, right? I think it was a true, just a feather in the cap of our judiciary system, that although it had everything going against it, including that prosecutor that did some very questionable things, in my opinion, uh, that it came out the way it should. Justice was served by a group of peers, of people from that town. I think the judge was very fair. I think the prosecutor, I don't know what was going on there. He was an experienced guy. I know where he was going with it. I don't want to get into much conversation in the comments here about it, because that's not fun, right? We want to talk about guns. But I was shocked. But by the same token, I was very happy that I believe our justice system worked. It truly, truly did. What was the scary part was, sometimes we think, man, video is a bad thing. Everything you do is on video, video, video. If you counted just the cameras you can easily see on your way to work, it's in the hundreds, guys. Everything's covered. We live in 1984 right now. And that's just the ones you can see. I was looking out my office window, and the intersection outside has 6 cameras on it from the state or local or whatever, not including businesses and whatever else. I mean, unbelievable. Within eyeshot, 30 cameras. I mean, unbelievable. But while we think bad of them most of the time, without that footage and footage from all those angles, man, things could have looked a whole lot different, right? Thank God all of it was cut, because it was plain as day. It was plain as day. Thank God for those cameras. And thank God, while we don't ever want to see anybody die, it's a shame. Nobody had to die in that case. And I still don't think that, I still think it was stupid of him to go there with a rifle. It's his right. Absolutely. He was trying to help someone protect their business. I get it. But he wasn't directly involved. It wasn't family. And I'm not saying you don't help friends or people in need, but maybe he wasn't the right. I don't know. I wouldn't want my kid out there with an AR, no matter what he was there to do. In my opinion, you're kind of asking for trouble. Now, does that make what happened to him right? And does it make his response illegal? Absolutely not. The videos, they pulled guns on him. He in several instances, and only did that were doing harm to him, and or ready to put death upon him. So it worked out. It just, you never know when something you consider bad works in your favor. So I don't know, but it was good to see. For any of you in Illinois, bad week. So you had assault weapons bans in a couple North Shore towns, one being Highland Park, the other being Deerfield. The Deerfield one was by one court found unconstitutional and put on hold. They went to the Illinois Supreme Court, and they ruled, I don't know if it was yesterday, within the last few days, that it stands. So the assault weapon ban and magazine ban in Deerfield stands. If you live in that town, you can no longer possess, and they named them ARs, Uzis, a few others, and you can't have a magazine over 10 rounds, or I think it even includes 10 rounders. I want to say I heard something weird where they stipulated it wrong. It should have been anything over 10 rounds, but I think it included 10-round magazines. If it didn't, it's only up to 10 rounds. But yeah, it held. Now, it's probably going to go all the way to the Supreme Court. But look, the Supreme Court of that state ruled that assault weapons can be ruled illegal by a municipality. And that has implications outside the state, right? Um, Not good. Not good. We've had a lot of wins lately. That was not one of them. Anyhow, what else? What else? What else? Let's get back in the comments here so then I can get back in here. So let's see. On that online group, Rock, I've been helping others learn, helping them fix their gear, build. Yeah, you said something last week. That's great, man. Keep helping people. I've been sharing everything I can. Loretta sees it every day. Yeah, you've been helping her. Joe's a big help to a lot of people. Youpers, that's me. My mother, who's here, is born and raised Youper, Ironwood, Michigan. I love it up there. Good snowmobiling, good country, good people, gorgeous country. When you drive through Upper Peninsula in the summer, you'll see a lot of houses. Look at the house and go, what in the heck is with that house? Why does it look so strange? Well, what you see is the foundation will be like 12 feet high, and then the house built on top of that. And you're like, should that be buried below ground level? No. They build the foundation that high and then put the house on top of it. So in the winter, when, let's say, February, they can still see out their windows, because if they didn't build it that high, they wouldn't be able to see out their windows. It'd be covered with snow over the roof, 12 feet of snow a year. They have plows, but late in the winter, how they get rid of the snow is they have huge trucks with gigantic blowers with snorkels on them. So they plow the snow up on the side of the highways as much as they can for the beginning of the winter until it gets so high that the plows won't throw it over anymore. Now they come down with these huge 2-stage blowers with giant snorkels that shoot it over the top of those banks. And when you're driving roads, even in town or two-lane highways, it's like driving through a tunnel, because the walls of snow on each side could be 15, 20 feet high. It's unbelievable. There's in Wakefield, right next door to Ironwood, there's the Olympic ski jump. Where the Olympian train, it's that giant, wooden jump where they go down and then launch and they're way out over their skis. That's something to see, dude. If you stand at the top of that thing, you would have a whole new appreciation for these maniacs. I mean, holy Christ. I never shied away from stuff like that, whether it was motocross racing, BMX racing, skiing. We skied a lot of bumps out west. We were bump skiers, mogul skiers. A lot of crazy stuff. You got to have a set on you, let me tell you. I hear loads of shots every day in country. Well, not too many this year for deer season. Troll here, for those not from Michigan, it means below the Mackinac Bridge. What? Troll here, for those not from Michigan. Oh, so it means below. So anyone living below the Mackinac Island Bridge is a troll. Youpers above, or UP. I was surprised how warm it was opening day. I didn't even use my heater. I didn't either. And I like those little packs. Sometimes I'll put them in my boots, because I don't wear winter insulated boots. I wear my combat boots, and I'll get those. But I usually get one big hand warmer pack, and I put it in the inner pocket of my jacket, and boom, I didn't even need them. Second day was a little colder. Hey, Mr. Ordnance, how's it going? Save the bees. What's up, man? Probably lost a lot of these guys here. I was talking so much. Let's see. No kidding. What part? I'm Southwest Oregon bred, born and raised, and still live in Oregon. Some Oregon bad. Portland doesn't seem to be a great place these days. Robin McClendon, that's crazy. Just to hear the difference between hunting in Wisconsin and Western Oregon is crazy. So what's different about hunting in Oregon? Let us know. I'd be interested to know. I got some people I know moved there, and they're raging liberals. And I thought, when all that was going on in Portland, I thought, God bless, couldn't happen to nicer people. Robin, happy to hear it. Pendleton, Oregon, moved to Wisconsin years ago. My wife is from there. We've talked about relocating back. The one thing I will say about Oregon, and I've never been there, but everything I see and hear about it is just stunning, beautiful. Although I had a friend come back and he was talking about some of the homeless camps where you can see the tarps in the mountains. They put them over the top of the trees, make entire huge covered portions. And you see them everywhere in the mountains. He said, it's unbelievable. It's not one or two streets. He said, it's so widespread. It's scary. And that's such a shame. Roundup. Yeah, you have Roundup out there. That's supposed to be a great time. I'd like to see that. This is awesome, Rock. Glad to watch you work. I'm not working. I'm just showing. YouTube doesn't like it to show reloading, so that's why I just did that. Everyone should pay it. Hey, Fred, good to have you in here, man. Everyone should pay attention to casting your own bullets. Brandon is not happy with the outcome of Kyle's trial, like court case. Expect to see bullets harder to come by. Where did I move? I missed it. Damn it. The thing jumped on me. Hold on. Let me find it, guys. I'm sorry. Damn, it jumped huge. Oh, here it is. Not happy with the outcome of the trial. Expect to see bullets harder to come by, plated more so. Yeah, guys, I would urge you all to get into reloading. I really would. If you are truly into firearms, there's a multitude of reasons, and you don't have to have one reason to reload. Look at it as a multi tier plan. Look at it from the standpoint of, yes, in some cases it can save you money. Yes, in some cases, saving that money will allow you to shoot more. 3, you will understand the entire gun better, the entire way things work and why they work, and trajectories and ballistics and all those things. Even the most basic of it is helpful. 3, stock up on components. And I haven't done it yet, and I'm going to. Like, literally, it's the next thing on my list. Casting bullets. I am going to get some bullet molds, and I am going to start stockpiling some lead, whether that's reclaimed lead, whether it's new ingots, whether it's wheel weights, whatever the case may be. I'm going to start putting it away, because and when you find them, the latest situation holds true more than it has in 15 years, the primer situation. They're out there, but you got to hunt it, pay up. When times are good, buy. Just like ammo, buy. Guys, when all of us look back at my live streams, look back when we were talking about bullets and I was talking about ammo shortage and all, I had already moved on from ammo. While everyone was, oh my God, the ammo's gone, or I only found this, or I only found that, I was done buying ammo. I was buying components. Is all I could find. I was ahead of the curve. I have not suffered one bit from this ammo shortage, not one bit, nor have I really broken into any of my factory rounds. I have survived over a year on reloading. And frankly, right now, I have more than I had when I started. I have more bullets, more primers, more powder, more everything. I've shot all I wanted to and didn't expend hardly any. I've shot some factory stuff, but very little. And it's been magnificent and a good feeling. I like steel case. Reason being, if I'm at the range and I see brass laying on the ground, it upsets me. It's like, I can't just leave it there. I can't walk past, and it hurts to see it laying there. I got to pick it up. If I shoot it, if I shoot 10 rounds, I got to find 10 rounds of mine. Where is it? I need it. I got to reload it. And there's a term for it. I don't know if it's brass envy or brass, I don't know, whatever it is. Get into it for all of the above reasons, little of both, saving money, being prepared. What if it all went away tomorrow? What if you couldn't get any more? Even if you couldn't get primers, if you couldn't get bullets, if you had molds, you can mold your bullets. You can find brass on the ground at multiple ranges all over the place. Garages, anywhere you can find it. Primers, if you have to, you can make your own that are fairly reliable. There is a lot of dicking around to it, and until you get a process pretty well down, it could be hit or miss, but it's better than nothing. It's better than nothing. Have the ability to do it. Get into it. Pick your favorite caliber or most expensive caliber. Get the basics and start doing it. Look at garage sales. Look on Craigslist. I look on Craigslist all the time. There's reloading stuff for sale every week. Dirt cheap. Brand new, it's cheap. Used, it's even cheaper. Even cheaper. I have some stuff here, powder drops and scales, old school stuff. The box is turned yellow and all, but this is an old house, never used, brand new in the box. But he got it at a garage sale or estate sale, gave it to me. And it cost him pennies, cost me nothing. And along with it, he found at the same garage sale a brand new O-House duometer powder measure. Brand new in the box. Look at this. I opened it once to look at it. Look, still got factory tape on it. That's the powder holder. These these are for the powder drops that as it comes into the shell. Manual. And look, still wrapped in, a lot of you guys don't realize what this stuff is, but this special brown paper they put things in is a rust-resistant paper. Keeps things from rusting. If you read here, Ferro Pack, anti-rust paper. Brand new powder measure. Never been off the thing. And look, this has actually got a really nice scale to it, better than the RCBS. And this, I'm going to use this. Why am I not using this? This looks like such better precision than mine. To see how a powder measure works, this is kind of cool, guys. So your powder holder goes in here, right? But here's how it works. So you have a drum inside of here. And you see that hole in there? There's a brass, very precise fit drum inside of that drum. And as you make your adjustments, that drum slides in or out, making that hole in the main drum deeper or shallower. And that's how much powder is in there. So when you crank it the one way, it fills. When you crank it the other, it dumps. Bring it back, it fills. Bring it the other, it dumps. And essentially, as that area there goes by, it shaves it off, and that exact amount goes in. So it's repeatable every time. This is way more involved than this little thing here. I'm going to have to do a little investigating. This is how they come, this bracket here. This isn't just packaging. This bracket can be mounted to the top of your die here, so it sticks off here, so you can drop powder, put it in, load the bullet. Mine came with that too. I just don't like it hanging off of here. I like being able to do a whole tray. But look at how involved. In this, he got this stuff, 2 giant containers, what do you call them? Totes full of bullets, primers, brand new reloading equipment, dies, these 30-06 dies, 30-06 trim die, a neck resizer die, 280 Remington, Roberts, all these dies, everything. I think he paid $50 for it all. One thing is worth $50. I mean, you can find it out there, brand new. Depending what I do here, maybe I'll give some of this away to some people on the channel. We'll have a little contest or something. I'm all about helping guys out. If I got stuff here I don't reload, like I'm never going to reload 280 Remington. I've got brass that I'll never reload that caliber. I'm happy to send it to someone or trade someone for it. Not a problem. I told you guys about the 7.62 brass I picked up, right? Got a bunch of brand new Winchester 7.62 by 39 waiting to go. Here's another cool thing I bought just for the hell of it. It's called a survival loader. So everything in here, I can completely reload a 12 gauge shotgun shell. It's really cool. So here's the heart of it. Main little thing. And with this and this pin and this pin and this little collar and these crimping dies, I can carry everything in my pocket to reload an emergency shotgun shell. I can pre-measure the powder and keep them in these tubes. And then for shot, I can put the shot in there as well, or I could load rocks in there. I could load BBs. I could load salt. I could load whatever I want. But with this whole kit by hand, I can make an emergency shotgun shell. Now, why did I buy it? Because I'm going to run around the woods and reload a 1x1 shotgun shells to hunt rats with or something at the end of the world. No, I bought it because I thought it was just kind of cool. Here's how we drive the primer out. It was just a neat kit that some guy that works in an engineering shop with a lathe made this little thing, and he makes it in 12 and 20. And it was cheap. It was a few bucks. And I thought, it's a conversation piece. It's kind of cool. And let me tell you something. It makes some pretty nice little shells. I was shocked. Anyhow, let's see. So Saw Gunner Fred gave us some advice to get those bullet molds and stuff. Do it, guys. I'm telling you. It's the next thing. Get some basics. Get the equipment. Pick it up here and there. Anything. It's cheap. Find it on eBay, whatever. It doesn't take any licenses to buy. You don't need an FFL. Start putting it together. You can find here. RCBS makes cheaper presses. One's called the Partner and another one's called the Rebel. And the presses themselves can be $60. You don't need a big rock chucker. Is it nice? Sure. Will it last forever? Sure. The other one does just as good a job for average ammo. Not a big deal. Start putting it together. Here, when all that, I started telling you, when everyone else was still clamoring for ammo, I was buying powder and primers and getting the last of it, and bullets, and putting together all my brass, and buying dies that I had maybe put off but knew were going to go away. Like, what did I buy? I bought the 7.62 by 39 dies because I knew those were going to disappear, and I had a feeling about steel case. I bought 8mm Mauser at the time. I bought 30-30. Thank God, can't find 30-30 anywhere. My problem now is I got a whopping 10 rounds of 30-30 brass. And I could have bought that brass, and I didn't. And what else did I buy as far as dies? I bought some de-priming dies just because I can work in faster volume. And that was about it. I do need to get, don't ask me why, but I don't have a 38-357 dies. I got to get some. I haven't shot that much revolver lately, but I enjoy it, and I'm going to do that. And I've got to, in with that, this equipment I got was probably 2,038 bullets. Here. Look, guys, this is a drawer that I put all kinds of stuff I save. So years ago, I was out somewhere and I had forgot to bring AK ammo. So I went to Walmart, and the only thing they had was Winchester white box 7.62 by 39. So I bought it. This is years ago, and I saved the brass, figuring I can use this to reload some precision rounds. So I saved it all, when you're reloading 308s and 30-06s, you forget how small 7.62 by 39 brass is. But there's the fired ones, completely reloadable. And I don't know, up until I found that other brass, I probably only had, well, I'll tell you what I had. 1, 2, 3, I had 60 rounds of brass. And then other stuff that was in that is expensive to buy, usually 38 Super. For my son's 1911, this light is not working well. I'm using a light out here. 38 Super, but then just running around store to store, what do I find? 38 Super, brand new Winchester brass. Here's how I keep it, guys. I pick it up at the range. There's a bunch of 308. Here's a shitload of 45 Long Colt. Brand new, by the way. Maybe once fired. I don't even know what this is. I don't shoot this. This is a it's a 280 Remington. This came with the estate sale stuff. This is I can't read it. 257 Roberts. I don't know. Just stuff that was in there. Here's something you'll need eventually. That I usually did with tools out of my toolbox, my mechanics tools. I made a puller, but stuck case remover. Boy, does this make your life easier when you stick a case. And you got to fabricate a puller and everything, or use other stuff and improvise. It takes a long time. With this, I can pull a case out in short order, but you need this or your die is garbage. You'll never get it out of there. I can promise you. I'm making a mess up here, but I mean, here, I don't even reload this, and this is 380 brass, but it's clean and ready to go. I'm going to make a huge mess. 308 cleaned, not deprimed yet, but extra 308 once fired. 38 Super, all cleaned. My son shot this, ready to go for a small batch. 38 Super, another batch, primed and ready to go. 6.5 Creedmoor. I don't even own a 6.5 Creedmoor, but I got brass for it. 40 cal. I don't own a 40 cal anymore. Here's a box. Good. 45 caliber 230 grain 451 total metal jacket round nose. So this is, a lot of them have the base of the bullets open where the lead is open. Well, a lot of ranges now want it completely covered so you don't get the lead in the air. But there's 45 auto, 45 ACP bullets, plated target rounds. Here's some old, these I got in that same thing. Look how old these are. Hornady 45 cal 230 grain. See, here's what I was talking about. See how the base is open lead? Same bullet, but full jacket. And I was talking with a Thunder buddy of mine the other day, and he was saying how all these are antique boxes now. And I had the same bullets he had saved. And I got a bunch of these, a bunch of 7mm, a lot of 38s. Talk about, look at this. 38 special. This was with all that reloading stuff for $50. I don't know. Oh, these were $16.50 back in the day whenever he bought it. 158 grain copper plus something. 100 of them was $16. Well, I got 100 brand new. And I've got 4 or 5 other boxes. Got 400 or 500 more rounds of it. What else do we got? 45 ACP clean, ready to go. 45 ACP clean. Loading bars and dies for our shotgun loads came with. There were 2,000 rounds of random, some Winchester and some Fiocchi shotgun primers that I definitely use. All for $50, and I got it for free. My buddy gave it to me for free. On and on. The stuff is out there. Sale. I don't even know what was in here. There was a Lee Auto Priming box, and there's usable stuff in here. These are crimp starters for a mech press. And these look like parts for some kind of press, mech probably. Here's something for a Lee Auto Primer. The rest of it isn't here. And other parts for mech. And I know what this is. This holds down the thing on the tumbler. Some extra lock rings. Some shell holders for a Lee Auto Prime. Just tons of stuff that you may not know here. For a Hornady press, these are the pedals to put the wads in. And you might not know what they are at the time. Just hang on to it. You're going to use it one day. You're going to need it. Put stuff together. Buy. It's not all about bullets, guys. When you can only shoot so many bullets, and you can only take so much with you when it's time to go. If you have to leave your house, how much you take it with you? You need to be able to have multiple ways. Here's a primer catcher for this other RCBS press. And I just remembered I was cleaning out my parents' garage. And laying on the ground behind a workbench, I found, actually I looked underneath the bench with a flashlight, and I saw this laying on the ground. Just looks like a piece of metal or a pencil, right? The average person wouldn't know what it was, but I remember seeing it when I was a kid. Now I'm going to look at this, and a couple of people on here are going to know what this is. So it's a hollow tube. It's made of aluminum. It's got a little hole here. It's hollow. Arr. And there's a little cutout here with a C-clip through it to keep things from falling through. Now, not many people here will. I just had remembered seeing it. I remembered, don't throw that out. We were cleaning out and throwing out. Don't throw that out. That's for something. At the time, I knew it was something, but I couldn't quite place where it went. Then my dad gave me all the reloading stuff, and I remembered this. I went, aha! The new RCBSs have this type of primer thing. The old one has, if you can see this little mechanism on it, well, this, you push primers into it till it's full, and it goes in here. And that's your priming mechanism. So you can load, 100 primers at one shot. And there's a large and a small. And anybody else, or had I not known and thrown this out, I'd be buying a set. Or maybe these aren't available anymore. I don't know. But all I'm telling you is stockpile. You can go to garage sales anywhere in the country, especially more rural areas, even city people, a lot of city people, and find this stuff laying. The average person doesn't even know. If they saw this laying on a bench, they would have no idea what it was. And you'd get it for $10, $5, $15. Be looking for it. Be on the lookout. Old gun shops will have boxes. Ask them, you got any old reloading stuff laying around you want to sell? I know one little shop in town here that if I go and ask, he'd say, come on in the back room. You can dig through here and look. Anything you want, bring it up and I'll give you a price on it. Pennies on the dollar. Reloading equipment. So many guys get into it and jump out, and it's for sale. Guys die. And it's one thing that never gets old, never goes away. It's the oldest stuff is still perfectly usable and perfectly modern at the same time. Sure, it's not a progressive press. And guys, you'll get into that. For high volume stuff, you'll get into a press that loads 223 and 9mm progressively, meaning every one pull makes a complete shell. You'll get into that. I'm going to. I have it for shotgun because I shot such high volume. And I'm going to that's my next investment is, what's the company name? They make the blue presses. Super nice progressive presses. But I was operating a mech progressive loader today and was shocked at how nice it was and how smooth it was for a mech. I was really shocked. So there's multiple ways to go, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to go with the one. They're expensive. I'd start here because you can do anything with this, and you'll always for small batch runs, special things. Yeah, you'll set up a progressive eventually. Buy this. It's not a waste of money. Anyhow, let's see. We talked about casting. Saw Gunner Fred. Lee, second edition recipe book is good also. Yep. Along with the Spear and Hornady 11th edition. So I have, what do I have? I have the Hornady 10th edition. I'm gonna kill some of you guys here. Nosler, I used to use this quite a bit. I don't much. I used to buy a lot of Nosler bullets. I have access to them in normal times, but I don't live near the place anymore. This is Nosler 7th edition. I've got the Lyman 50th anniversary, which is a recent one. And then I have the Lyman 46th edition. I don't know how old this is, but it's pretty old, this one. And then I have an original Spear. I got to find it. A Spear loading manual in the green loose leaf binder notebooks. You remember those, Fred? Back a ways. And then keep in mind that each powder manufacturer will put out books regarding their powders and loads for them. So not only bullet manufacturers, but powder manufacturers, and then Lyman too. There's a lot of good stuff. Spear has one. Hornady has one. If I can pull out this Spear manual. Yep, here it is. Hold on. Hear that, guys? Hornady has one. If I can pull out this Spear manual. Yep, here it is. Hold on. Hear that, guys? That's boxes of shotgun shells waiting to be loaded. Second edition manual. So being the second edition, how old is that? My guess would be, and this is Sierra, not Spear. I'm sorry. Second edition Sierra, loose leaf. Oops. Oh, receipts. This was my father's. And again, all the loads, my dad's notes, and this looks like a receipt for a gun he must have bought. Or maybe I bought it and I hid the receipt in here for my wife. Oop, it's mine. What did I buy? Handgun transfer. State of Wisconsin. What did I? Oh. Prepper Gun Shop. Ah, yes, the old CZ Scorpion. S1. Oh, this was the micro with the faux silencer and all. $1,200. I hid it. We'll put it right back in there. She'll never look in there. Yep, you gotta have good ways of. We gotta cover that one day, right? How to evade capture by your better half. How to get things in and out without being noticed. That would include such things as leaving with empty cases and coming home with full cases. Having deliveries on days you're off and she's working. Let's see. You got to have a Mama Don't Know credit card too. Got to have that. What else? Yeah, I could go into details, but she might watch this one day. I'd be in a whole lot of trouble. Anyhow, funny, right? We all do it. We all do it. Come on. Anyhow, are you guys even still listening? There's very few people in here. We're coming up on 2 hours, guys. I'm sorry if I bored you tonight with the reloading, but I wanted to tell you what we have coming. and the project we're going to do with the 7.62 by 39. It's going to be so interesting, and it's going to be fun, enlightening. And I wasn't planning this originally. I just wanted to get a few things to load, And this friend of mine brought this up, and he was so charged up about it that it got me excited. And now, God, with all his research, and now maybe I can do this, it'll be really interesting. And maybe we end up with it being one of the foremost authorities or reference guides for that particular round. It'll be really, really neat, depending how it goes. I'm going to put everything I got into this thing as best as I know how. I'm going to rely on him for a lot of knowledge and go from there. And we'll see how it comes out. But I'm hoping to be able to give all of you guys that information, pass it on to you. And knowledge is power. And knowledge is no fun unless you can share it with somebody, So it'll be cool. Let's see who else is in here. Sawgunner Fred. Acme is a major bullet casting company of bullets. Yeah, I use. Let me show you guys. Excuse me. Keep it down if you're going to be out here, please. This is Acme Bullet Company. I'm sorry for this lighting, guys. It's so bad, and for the noise in the background. But they come in these little crates, and they're a cast bullet company. They make cast bullets, but they got big on powder coating bullets. So these are 45 ACP, 230 grain, round nose, bell base. Well, these are recent. These were cast in April of 21. So I call them lipstick bullets. They shoot just fine. They don't leave any red residue in your barrel, nothing like that. They're cheap. You can shoot to your heart's content. They're accurate, easy to load, easy on your gun, and just work great. And 100 of them. Now this is during the height of the panic, and they were $23. I don't know if I looked at the price tag before I bought them, but normally when I buy 100 of these in 9mm, I pay $10. I mean, I buy, and even now I can get them bulk. I believe they're Hornady. Just their bulk 55 grain 223 Canalure bulk bullets, $9.99 100, and even cheaper at 500 and 1,000. So $10 for 100 rounds for the bullet. God, it used to be that about $2.50 would get you the primers. Now that's went up to almost $8 or $9. So between bullets and primer for 100 rounds of 223, you've got about $18 in it, maybe. And then powder, I don't know, how far does a pound take you? Powder used to be about $23 to $25 a pound. Let's say, I don't know what it is now, $30 maybe. And to do 100 rounds might take you a third of a pound or something. So 10 there, so $30. And the brass I consider free because I get it off the ground. So $30 for 100 rounds, 30 cents a round. Not bad by today's standards even. So it can definitely pay to reload. There's a ton of online sources you can go to, get it sent right to your house. The bullets, the primers, the powder, the everything. One thing that'll hurt you is the hazmat fees for shipping and all. I want to say $35, and there's other shipping. So you want to do your orders. If you are ordering primers and powder online, you want to do it in bulk orders, so you only pay the one hazmat fee, or find a local place. Or sometimes it's worth it to make the drive or put an order in with friends. Uh, I make a drive over to kind of west central Wisconsin. I used to hit it on my route delivering pallets from my pallet company, and I would stop in there, and it's the biggest reloading place in the Midwest that I know of. Anything and everything I wanted. They were the distributor for Winchester and many other brands, and I could go in and buy tens of thousands of components, no shipping, no nothing, and great people. It's called Recubs, RECOBS, Target Shop. Look them up. Right now, they're sparse online. You're not going to find much there. But in the normal times, great place. Great place to get your components, and super nice people to super nice. I can't say enough about those people. So anyhow. So that's what I got to say about that. This 762 by 39 project is going to be awesome. We're going to do on our video here in just a second. I'm going to go back through these comments one more time. Let's see. Lee 2nd edition recipe book, good also, along with Spear and Hornady 11th edition. Save the Bees. Hey guys, Sawgunner Fred, Chris, agree it takes some time to get EFF with progressive, if not using a COPS, it's easy to overcharge. Yes. Learn the process, learn the hobby on a single press. Trust me, you'll be way ahead, and it gives you a feel for everything. It's harder to make mistakes, and it'll always come in handy. Always. You'll never get rid of it. So to start that way, my best, I just watched a video where a guy recommended getting a progressive first. That was what's his name? Hickok 45. It's one of the few times I disagree with him. I think you should always start with a single press. So do that. Hey, my parents live on Fremont. Big Rapids is the closest big city. Big city. That was not the big city when I went there, but it sure is now. It's a nice sized town now. Let's see. Right wing ref ordered a Zastava ZPAP M70 3 weeks ago, and still no call from FFL to pick it up. Well, I guess it depends where they ordered it from. You should have ordered it online and had it shipped to your FFL and just done the transfer from someplace you knew had it in stock. Joe Morgan, doesn't surprise me about the kid. People wanted him dead. I hope he keeps armed always. Family too. Yeah, he's got a hell of a road to hoe ahead of him. He's got a target on his back now. He's going to need protection from here on out. I hope they take care of him. I don't know who's doing his security and who's paying for it. FBI, I think. Excuse me, please. Let's see. Tori Hanzo, disinformation works. People don't realize the Kenosha kid was stalked, attacked, and shot at. Some are like your friend because he is called a racist in the media. Deliberate division tactics. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely it is. And they work very well. Sawgunner, I knew he'd answer. I knew. Chris, the tube will fill the primers and hold them in place until you release the clip, and then it fills. He says Hornady progressive. Most don't use them. In this case, it's for that RCBS. But yeah, Hornady must use the same thing. I knew you'd know what it was. And he also came up with the name of the progressive, the Dylan. Sawgunner Fred has some great knowledge of reloading too, guys. If you got questions, he'll be happy to chime in and answer them too. But a Dylan, probably the 650. I think I'll go as high as I can afford. Eventually, I would like it to feed the case, the bullets, everything, because I like gadgets. But I'm sure, well, if I know Dylan, it all works and works well. And they have the best no questions asked warranty and adjustments and everything else. So I'm going to go with a Dylan. But I do want to be able to use it for 9 and 223 And I don't know about 308 would be nice too. I'd love to use it for that. So we'll see. They are what we use to run the auto marks. Okay, cool. The blue presses, you got it. I've heard from so many people how nice they are. How the X95, I just bought one. I love that X95. I don't shoot it enough. I'm going to shoot it Thursday. I've got my cousin coming to town, and he got big into guns after seeing my channel and stuff. And he's built his first ARs, and he wants to go to the range. So instead of a family football game, like a lot of people do on Thanksgiving, we're going to the range Thanksgiving Day morning. And we're going to check out his new ARs he put together. And I've been stocking up on steel case 5.56 223 to run in my X95, and here's why. That Tavor, along with my Sam 5 and along with my Setme, my Spanish Setme, they beat the living crap out of brass. They bend it in half. It's so bad. And like I said, it hurt laying on the ground, people leaving it there because I can use it, right? So when I take a once fired piece of brass, reload it, fire it out of one of those 3 guns, and it bends it in half, and now it's junk, it bothers me. So I've been buying steel case to shoot out of those 3 guns because why ruin brass? And I'll say it once again, and you guys can comment all you want. And those that think they know better, I'm not too opinionated. I don't push my opinions on many people, but I will do this. So you guys that don't believe it can say what you want in the comments. I'll just tell you, you're all wrong. You're absolutely wrong. Anybody that goes against steel case, because steel case is fabulous ammo. There's nothing wrong with steel case. It's not wearing out your gun. It's not wearing out your extractors. It's not wearing out your bolts. It's not wearing out your chambers. It's not wearing out nothing. Get that through your head. Here, if it is wearing the steel parts of your gun, you have a shit gun. Get rid of it. It's softer than the tool steel. Your gun is made of tool steel, extremely hard steel. If steel case is going to hurt your gun, you bought a garbage gun. Get rid of it. It's not going to hurt it. Shoot it to your heart's content. Tens of thousands of rounds. It will do no more damage than brass ammo. I'm just going to tell you that once and for all. And there's not much I like to impress upon people, but that it just bugs me when people go and say the opposite. Oh, it's junk. It'll wear it out. Oh, you're ruining your expensive rifle. You don't know what you're talking about. Pure, plain and simple. And the reason I guess it bugs me is so many people just are so adamant about it, but yet they have no experience with it. None. Don't be afraid of it. Enough of my rant there. So yeah, that 95, I like running the steel case through it. Sure, I would love to run brass all the time, but it sucks having it bent. And I'll say this, I can resize it. It will take the majority of that dent out. You'll see a little imperfection in it. Has it weakened the case? Yeah, maybe, but keep in mind the chamber wall supports that. So you're effectively, the next shot is fire forming it. It ain't going anywhere. I can reload it. It's just not as perfect and as pretty. So why ruin it when I don't have to go around on my hands and knees picking it up. And when you got a few extra pounds on you, you're out of breath down there picking it up, trying to get it all of a sudden you're lightheaded going, Jesus Christ, is this worth it? You know? But I got to get me one of them little roller things that pick up the brass. They're just like if any of you guys have nut trees or ever lived or near a pecan farm down in Georgia or something, they use these they look like wire footballs. It's made out of that thin, flexible wire like a whisk is, but it's shaped like a football and an axle at each end on the end of a stick, and it rolls. And as it rolls, those wires spread and the shell will go between them and it traps it in the basket. And then you just can dump it in a bucket. and you don't have to bend over to get it. Yes, it will pick up stones and other stuff, or maybe not work so well in grass or mud or something, but it's usually easier in the right conditions. It's easier picking it up with that. So I got to get me one. I keep meaning to get one, but maybe my wife, it'll make a good stocking stuffer. We'll see. I'll get one of those. But yeah, steel case is a nice break from having to pick up your brass all the time. Sometimes you just want to go to the range, shoot like a madman, and not have to worry about policing up all that brass and how many did I get them all? Because I'm OCD. If I find all my brass and that's missing, I will search another 20 minutes till I find that piece. It bothers me that much. I'm crazy sometimes, I tell you. I don't know where I get this from, but um, anyhow, yeah, steel case is a nice break. So with my X95, yeah, cool gun. I'd really like to do some better accuracy testing with that, with a maybe a 3x9 scope. I got a red dot on it now, but I'd really like to try a scope. Will I be good with an EOTech and not need a riser? Yes, you will be just fine. You don't need a riser on the X95. I run a Holosun 510C on there, which does have a quick disconnect mount, comes standard on it, and it's perfect. You don't need an AR riser. No, no, no. Your factory iron sights are very high on that. When you flip them up, you know how high they are, like 2 inches. Looks crazy, right? Them two little thin things sticking up. You think if I dropped this gun, I'd rip them both off or bend them, right? But if you, with a 510C Holosun, which is basically a prism optic kind of, um, it co-witnesses absolutely perfect. So yeah, I really like that 510C on so many things, guys. They're, granted, it's not a $99 red dot. They're about $299, sometimes $289, $279. If you can swing it, so much better than a red dot. Your field of vision is so much greater. Shooting two eyes is so much better. Everything about it is just fantastic. Your batteries go dead, you still got a picture because of the little solar panel. You can leave it on constantly, 60,000 hours, whatever it is. Yeah, it's great. That's me. God, I told you guys about the video. I'm shooting at my local range. I'm shooting, and I see a guy. He's leaving. He's walking. I don't think nothing of it. I'm shooting, shooting, shooting. I turn around. He's standing there. He's like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, hey, good. Nice to see you." Guy leaves. It wasn't until I got home that I noticed I'm watching the video while I'm shooting behind my back, while he's got armloads of crap. He's reaching down. You can see him looking at me, seeing if he can get away with it. And he's snarfing my brass off the ground. I had it on video. It would have been the funniest damn thing you guys would have ever seen in your life. Just the weasel way he was doing it. And I lost the clip somewhere. Oh my God, hilarious. I still dig for that clip. I'm going to find it one day. I don't know how it would have went away, but I'm going to find it. You guys will laugh so hard. Hilarious. What is that? OU Hectic 221 Street. What? No problem. Nice shirt. Ferris? You know Ferris? I hope so. Good school. Great school with a lot of good programs that other schools don't offer. Guys, I don't know if I missed anything in here. Oh, Guero. I didn't see Guero was in here. Man, I must have skipped over a lot of stuff. Let me go through real quick. I hate missing stuff, and I hate avoiding or seeing like I don't answer people. Hey, guys, keep in mind the super chat is open. If you guys can see your way to donate a few bucks, it all goes to use on the channel. We certainly appreciate it. With the way that's, I told you a story. Video got postponed till today because of monetizing. We get demonetized time for the littlest stuff. I told you I'm not caring much about it anymore. I'm just going to post anyways, because at the end of the day, worrying about a little bit of money with how bad they shadow ban us and everything, the money's just not there. Put it this way, because we're not allowed to talk about the money we make on here, but last month's money would not cover one brand new box of 45 long Colt that I saw for sale at a local farm and fleet would not cover the cost of one box of it, a 50 round box. That's how little is made here. You guys think these are, well, I know you don't think they're big channels, but big, small channels. How's that sound? The money ain't there. It's everything we do is on our dime. Nobody donates crap to this channel. Krebs over the years has given me one or two little things. And TDI has been extremely to test, and we report back to them what our findings too. And they make changes for the world's major military industry based on the input we give them, the Israeli government. So why they picked me to send stuff to and give them feedback, I fill out forms and send them back to them. Why they do that, I don't know why they picked me, because there's a lot smarter people than me out there, but they've been really good to us, sending us not money, but handguards, and we use them, and I promote them because product. I reached out to them because I thought they were such great product. You will never see me push anything on here that I think is bad. That's why you don't see many bad reviews. It's not because I'm a shill or because I'll do anything for money. Trust me, there's no money. I only review and report on things I like and I found useful, that work, that don't break, that are reliable, repeatable. And that's what I bring to you, with rare exception. I have one firearm that I've not done a review on yet, because I wanted to love this gun. But in my opinion, it's been nothing but a train wreck and a pile of garbage, especially for the money I paid. And I still have not put this lambasting video out there because I hate to do that to a company, and I have not given them the opportunity to fix it. But I've never had, in all my years, had to send a gun back to the factory. If there was something minor wrong with it, I fixed it. That's what I do, you know. I can fix it. In this one, I can't fix it. It's I'm so upset and so frustrated with it and so pissed off because it's such a gorgeous, gorgeous piece of art that would have been so perfect for the intended use I had. And I wanted to love this gun, wanted to love it. And I can't. It's the most frustrating. I want to scream and punch things when I mess with it. And I still haven't put the video out. I've talked about it a few times. Some of you might know what I'm talking about, but I'm not going to mention it because I haven't given them the chance to respond. And I don't think that's correct to do to someone. So let me look through these comments real quick, and then we're going to get to launching the video here. Let me see what I missed. And guys, I go back through and I read all these and I answer. So if I missed you, it wasn't because I'm avoiding you or I don't like you or I think you're nobody. I answer everybody. I love you all for coming on here and helping me out. I really appreciate it. And like I said, anything with those super chats or stickers or whatever, any little bit helps. We put it back into the channel. I'd still like to know what the crazy difference is between Wisconsin hunting and Oregon hunting. If Robin's still on here, I'd like to hear what it is. Let's see. 5 years ago. I'm just looking quick, guys. I'm sorry. Everyone should pay attention. Casting. We talked about that. Talked about Guerrero. There's Guerrero. I think he had a few things. I hope you get your ZPAP pretty soon. You're going to love it. What a great rifle. Frontiersman, hello. Well, thanks for stopping in. We appreciate it. We're all doing well tonight. I've been yapping my brains out. My mouth's so dry, I'm spitting sand. I thought I missed some stuff in here. God had survived, even admitted on the stand in self-defense. Yeah. Guerrero showed my dad the Colin Noir video called Kenosha Video Media. Don't want you to see. Changed his mind real quick about Kyle. He said, even I would machine gun those people, and he don't even really like guns. That's funny. Bought 2,500 rounds of 8K ammo this week. All right. Way to go. It's a lot of ammo in 1 week. Use some and put some back. You can never have too much. Tree, some good sales going on. Yeah, you got Black Friday sales coming up, guys. I'm not one of these big guys that promotes all these Black Friday sales, but watch 2AEDU, watch his channel, and subscribe to his thing on, oh God, I'm so sorry. I forget the name of it. The other platform he's going to. He'll send you emails on all these sales, and there's so many good ones out there right now. If you need stuff, now's the time to do it. Guero, I've been saving my shells. You haven't got the reloading yet. Wanted to start with 12 gauge. Do it. Get yourself a mech. You could get a mech little reloader for like $100 or less. You can find one for $50 somewhere used, and you load to your heart's content with that thing. Super cheap to get into shotgun reloading, man. We had discussed Lee loaders on, yep. I use a Lee hand press for my reloading. Yep, no problem with those either. About ready to learn to run my late father's mech progressive. I just talked about a mech. I was running it in the store. So smooth. Tons of videos online about setting up and running those progressives. Mech has a ton of information, and they have a line you can call and get it all set up and running. You'll love it. Every pull of the handle feeds one. I got a Posnus Warren here that was my dad's. It's a little off because he loaded paper shells on it. That's not because it's old or we're old. It's just they shot better, a little less recoil, we thought, than plastic. So I've set it up for plastic now, and I just don't have it adjusted right. I got to mess with it. That's another thing that pisses me off. Looks like Dad still had enough materials for 2,000 or more shells. Yeah, a lot of what I got for shotgun is still left over from my dad's shooting, and it's still fine. If you kept the primers somewhere, cool, dry place, no problem. Shooting comp matches like Lee single hand press allows to change load and ladder load workups. Yep. Great stuff. For years, not much slower than any other single stage. Yeah. So Tim Farley says he's been using a single stage press and or a Lee loader and works just fast as a single stage. Yeah. Well, I guess I did catch everything. So locals, yeah, he's on locals. Go on there, sign up, and you'll get all his updates with all the sales. It's really cool, and he's got a ton of them. Check out all the big ones this week. Primary Arms, Palmetto State Armory, they'll all have some great sales. Check out some of the ammo places. Check out a lot of the reloading stuff that's going on. Get your reloading stuff. You're going to need it, guys. I promise you. 2.5 hours I've been yapping. I'm done. Stay tuned. You will get a notice, or go to my channel. You're going to see a premiere, and the chat will run alongside it as the video premieres. If you get over there in the next couple minutes, you'll be able to join in. We'll be able to chat just like this, talking about the video or other stuff. You can chat whatever you want. But that premiere, you'll probably get a notice if you're subscribed. If you're not, you won't. But go to the channel. You'll see the new video pop in the next 2-3 minutes. And then jump in and you'll see the chat next to it. Okay. It may say, hey, waiting for premiere, and they do like music, da, 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 like the music at the movie theater while you're out getting your Cokes and popcorn and stuff. So we're going to have a movie premiere here in 3 minutes. And I think you guys will like it. And we'll go from there. Until then, we'll see you next Tuesday. I got another video on reloading and another shooting video coming out this week. As long as YouTube monetizes it in time, I will have one out tomorrow, hopefully. So thanks for everything, guys. Thanks for everything you do. Like I said, if you can contribute, great. If not, no problem. Enjoy having you here. Thanks for everybody that showed up. If I missed you, I'm sorry. I read them all. Yes, great hockey team, championship hockey team, Division I, Ferris State University. Awesome. We beat Notre Dame, Michigan State, you name it, University of Chicago, all of them. Great school, fun school. Anyhow, guys, thanks for everything. Check out the premiere on the channel. And as always, Rockford Ordnance out.